We are the Screen Team. We are back at you, and we are reviewing some movies. And this next movie we're going to be reviewing is a classic. We're talking about the movie King Kong, and there's several different versions of the movie that have been created. A lot of you are probably familiar with the one that came out in the early 2000s, directed by Peter Jackson, and it, of course, had Andy Serkis in it and a lot of great actors in it. And there was one also in the 1970s with Jessica Lange. And also, I didn't either. I think Jeff Bridges was in it too.
No kidding.
But I haven't seen that one, so I have no idea how that one is. But the one we're going to review for you is the one that was made in
the original
1934, I believe. 1934.
By Todd Browning, I believe.
Yeah. This movie, this is a movie that I appreciate. I like. It's goofy in parts as far as, because it's so old. But, I think it's one of those classic films that you watch and you're like, yeah, this is old Hollywood.
I completely agree with you. When I was watching it, I thought to myself, do you realize that this was only, 5 years after audio was created for film?
Right.
5 years. And you look at, I was paying attention, as you and I do, to the production part of it. Mm-hmm. The movements, the angles were all, there are differences, of course, but still, it's the roots that you see today. And what an outstanding job they did. Yeah, the effects, the stop motion that they were doing, that was incredible. Like how
for that time?
Exactly, how these brilliant filmmakers did this effect for these creatures and made them look so large, and it made them move, and then would mesh in with the actors so well. This is all way before green screen.
Yeah.
Decades before green screen.
Yeah.
And Todd Browning was an amazing director. He directed, just a little side note, a movie that was banned by MGM had created it. It was banned from the public. It was called Freaks. And he used actual live freaks.
And this is the one that we reviewed, right?
Yeah, a long time ago. Same director, Todd Browning.
That's the same guy? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so that side note, it's like he's an excellent director. So I'm not surprised when I was watching this. And it's a good movie. It's got an interesting plot. Mm-hmm. The acting, it carries at that time through the 40s and 50s a very distinct style.
Right.
I enjoy that classic style. I do.
For me, it makes me feel comfortable. I don't know why. It is.
I know exactly right. Yeah, it's something
familiar about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, but definitely, yeah. If you haven't seen the original King Kong, it's a cool movie. I think and it is very well done.
One of my favorite characters in the film is Fay Wray. She plays.
She does a really good job.
She plays the lady who King Kong decides to take at the very end of the film. But I like her because she screams throughout the whole film, man. That's all she does, man. She just screams and screams and screams, and it's just like, man. But she did such a great job for her role.
Yeah, and I honestly, I really wasn't really familiar with the actors that played. I mean, they were literally. You're literally watching some of the founding actors of film when you watch those movies, because that was, like I said, it was only 5 years after silent films really ended, and they called these talkies. That's what they were called, talkies.
You want to go see the talkie?
Yeah. Let's go to the movies, maybe. It's in the latest talkie.
Now, how come people don't talk like that anymore?
I don't know.
It's
cool. Like anything. It's just like a style that's created.
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, and then
I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to start talking like that to people. Get weird.
Listen here, use. Yeah.
I asked for no ice in my iced tea.
You mugs. You brought me ice.
Bruce Cabot was one of the actors in the film. He plays like the leading man, the hunk of the thing. And Bruce, I think he did a lot of westerns. He did some films with John Wayne, people like that. And, I appreciate a lot of the stuff that this film has done, or actually did do. One of the things I don't like about it is I thought some of the fight scenes were a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Like with King Kong, faces like everybody in this thing, man.
Yeah, he beats up this T-Rex.
That takes 20 minutes, and you're like,
it's
okay.
Cool, but after a while, I agree with you. But that jaw breaking scene on that poor T-Rex.
I know, man. He did not mess around.
He finished him off.
He did not mess around.
Point made.
Oh, goodness. Do you think this is a film that millennials can get into?
Get into? No, I don't. I think.
Do you think you have to have an
I think you have to have an
appreciation
appreciation for movies to really watch it. The average person watching this isn't going to. They don't think like we do. I think when it comes to cinema, the average person probably just wants to be entertained, and most people. I bet there's just tens of millions of people who've never even seen a black and white film out there. So I think you have to have an appreciation for cinema to really enjoy this movie because it's so completely different. The effects, of course, because of the time, the era that it was created in. So
I was just out of curiosity. Was this a film that you had seen before? Or was this your first time?
I'd seen little bits growing up, but I'd never actually sat down and watched. So I didn't remember anything. So it was like I was watching it completely for the first time.
Right on.
And that's through the experience that I've had in my own experiences with film. Could really say that I did enjoy it, and what an appreciation I have for these founders, that just how innovative they were, and the effects they would do without computers back then, and they did it all in a lab, in a black room developing film, to mesh a completely different scene that was filmed somewhere else, and so my hat's off to them. Your hat stays on.
My head's staying on, but I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. The movie's called King Kong. It's the original one we're talking about, back from the early 1930s, man. So make sure, if you're interested in those kind of films, definitely check it out. Michael, thanks for being on the show.
No, I appreciate you asking me.
We'll be back next Saturday for another full hour of movie reviews for you. I'm Chris. He's Michael. We are the Screen Team. And remember, we want you to know before you go.